So, welcome everyone. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Cindi. I am at Simply Cindi. I am a psychic medium. I do a lot of things. I have a lot of tools in my basket. This week we're doing astrology, which is my passion. I love astrology. Now, as astrology, the way that I translate, because I'm a medium, I will see it through a medium's lens, right? So these planets, these stars, these houses, these signs, they talk to me. They have characters, or they are characters. They have personalities. So you will kind of hear me saying it in a very different way that most astrologers will, but you'll get the point. Um, so we have a lot coming in October. Happy Halloween! Halloween is one of my favorite seasons, but like Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, it's all my favorite. Autumn to spring is my favorite. So I love you, love you, love you. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. What else can I say before we get started? Because I'm trying to get my schedule where it's Monday through Friday, right? And then on the weekends, if I want to do extra, I can do extra. But I'll be coming on live 5 days a week. I could not do that without y'all's help. You guys were the ones that helped me do this. I am so happy to be doing this. And then we are going to be starting the membership as soon as I get approved. But like, I kind of feel like by the time I get approved to do the membership through YouTube, I'm gonna already have enough watch time hours to start and turn on my AdSense again. So as soon as they approve me, we can start it. I'm working on that part too in the background. So yes, happy Halloween to everybody. Welcome. Thank you guys for coming in. We are going to talk about the month of October and Halloween. We've already talked about the big thing that's coming, which is the solar eclipse in Libra. And I did some chart readings yesterday, which was really fun. Okay, so the month of October, we have that big solar eclipse, but that's not the only thing we have. But I kind of wanted to do this slowly. So this is the way I'm going to do it. I'm going to go over the monthly tonight. But then I want to go back tomorrow night because I want to look at each planet in the house and see what they're doing. Does that make sense? Like, I want to go deep because we haven't checked in with these planets by themselves, right? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? So, do you guys know what I'm talking about? Like, we haven't checked in with Pluto, which we all know we need to be checking in with Pluto, right? We haven't checked in with Saturn. I'm talking about the retrogrades. We haven't checked in with all the planets that are retrograded. We haven't checked in with because Venus and Mars are going to be doing some stuff this October, and I kind of want to go through each of the houses where the planets are and kind of take you back to what they were saying in their first conversation and bring it forward. I think that's going to take a couple of lives, right? But for tonight, I'm going to go ahead and just do the monthly. God, this group is so deep and has such depth that I feel like just doing a normal monthly is like, there's a million of those on YouTube. There's a million of those on TikTok. There's a million of those, right? And so I want to just do the monthly so that you kind of get an idea about what's coming, but then I really want to go deep in for the next 2 or 3 or even 4 of them. Does that make sense to everyone? Y'all are just such evolved souls. I feel like if I'm like, that's why I don't do a lot of the inner planets. I do the outer planets because I don't know, it's just so deep. It's much deeper. Like all, and I'm not trying to say anything bad about astrologers, right? They do their thing, I do my thing, we do our thing, right? Has nothing to do with that. I'm just saying that there's so many of the same blah 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 that's what it becomes, like Charlie Brown and with the teacher, right? And so I kind of want to like get in depth because we have October, November, December, January, February. Those are all important months, and I want to go deep. And I want you guys to get it so that we don't repeat it, right? And like what's going on. Hey, Eagle. And again, I'm going to go over the monthly right now, and then tomorrow we're going to go in more depth. And then the next day and the next day and the next day. And who knows, maybe I'll just do the finish the Pluto series on my lives. So we'll see how it goes. So September 28th is today, but I want to look at October. Do I want to show you this on 28th first or not? Let's see. Yeah, let me show you this first. Okay. So you guys know that, who was it that got assassinated today? Some leader. Sorry, I don't remember who it was. I don't remember the name. It's Hassan somebody. Um, and what else? There's some BS going on out in the world, and I was like, what is going on that we're having these? Oh, and I guess we were attacked by one of our ships were attacked. So I was like, okay, what's going on? So I looked at the charts today. And I'm going to tell you this because I want you to understand like the things that are coming up in October, okay? And I did a video 6 months ago. I don't think it was a live. I think it was a video. But I'll put it in the description later. Of Mars and Venus talking to Pluto, okay? I went through all the planets that were talking to Pluto at the time because Pluto is really important, okay? So this month, like right now already, we have this trine going on with Mars and Venus. And remember last night, that's the other thing, is last night, Venus kept like talking to me out front. And I was like, what is going on with Venus? Like she was really trying to show, I'm gonna say it weird. She was really trying to show her ass for some reason. Like, I'm like, why are you all up in my business? Why are you all up in front of me? Because she's usually not like that with me. Venus isn't, right? She was acting like I wasn't paying attention to her and she needed my attention, right? Um, Remember, I'm a medium. Like I see, I can tell you the conversations that go on. Anyway, so I was looking at that too. I'm like, what's going on with Venus this next month? Like she wants me to see something, right? So I see this today and I'm like, oh, Mars is trining Venus, right? And so Mars protects Venus because Venus can go off a little, and she doesn't protect herself sometimes. And sometimes she needs help with boundaries, sometimes, right? But especially when she's trining Neptune in retrograde. And Mars is trining Neptune in retrograde, right? So, and these are all in the water signs, which means like a grand trine, right? So this grand trine we are going to be dealing with in this next month. And it's already starting, and you see it out in the world, right? People get their feelings hurt. And it's because you have these energies that are like, I'm right with what I'm seeing. And normally I would say that was correct. You should be, for yourself, very clear about what you're seeing, right? Even though your emotions are involved. But when we have Neptune, yeah, when we have Neptune retrograde, you're not seeing it. You're seeing it, but you could be seeing it a little bit askewed, right? But Mars has that vigor in Cancer. I told you it's like that force of your emotion. Like I explained this yesterday. People think Mars doesn't do well in Cancer. I think you can get a lot of done in Cancer when Mars is there. I think that that's when you learn how to take your emotions and have the adrenaline and move something forward, right? Well, that's Mars, and he's looking at Neptune and he's looking at Saturn, right? So right now he's right here with Saturn. He's going to be with Neptune. So Venus is going to trine Neptune and Mars is going to trine Neptune. But right now, Mars is trining Saturn. What do I believe? What am I seeing? But because Neptune is retrograde right now in Pisces, what am I seeing? Am I seeing the truth? Right? And Venus wants to make it all okay, but Mars is like, no, you need to look at it like look at the reality of what's happening. That's the energy that's going on right now. Okay. So that's why, you know, You're seeing this out in the world. You're seeing also we have 29-degree Capricorn Pluto retrograde. I told you guys when Pluto came back this last time, I told you there's going to be lots of deaths and there's going to be lots of systems breaking down and there's going to be empires crushed, even those you never thought could be crushed. We still have, I mean, Pluto's going to go direct this next month, and y'all are really going to see some people that are y'all like, what the were they doing? And did they really think they were going to get away with this? That's what you're going to see. Hi, Aries. Ah, damn, you just helped me figure out why I'm having this pressure at work. Yep. Yep. Stick around. We all help each other here. I know you know that, Aries. So we're going to have this grand trine and see, look at this trine. So all this stuff happening over here, these are all getting prepared. The sun just moved through this portal, right? The sun's about to move through this portal. Black Moon Lilith, she already moved through the portal. She ain't wait for nobody. She was like, I'm first. I'm moving through that portal because I'm going to fix that shit before it gets started. Like, that's Black Moon Lilith. Okay? So she just went through this portal. The sun's over here trying to get through this portal, and then Mercury is trying to get through this portal, right? And we're going to on September 2nd, which is in a couple of days. That's why it's so close, right? So we have this trining Pluto. We have Pluto trining Uranus. And we have, hold on, make sure. And then we have the sun trining Uranus. And the South Node trining Uranus, right? So, hey, Wendy. So we've got this trine going on right now. It's not a grand trine because they're not all on the same sign. I mean, they're not all in the same element. But if they're in the same element, like these that's a grand trine, right? But they're still trining, so they're talking to each other, right? People are going to come down. You're going to lose some people. I'm not saying everybody personally is going to lose some people, but, you know, we've already lost some celebrities that we're like, oh, we've lost them to the world, right? And Uranus is involved. Uranus is always going to change shit where you think it's changed and you're like, all of a sudden it just throws you off. Okay. That's kind of what's happening now. And that's kind of what's coming for us in October. So let's look at October 1st. Okay. So I'm going to go over important dates and then I'll answer questions, and then I'm going to come back tomorrow and we're going to go deeper into this. Okay. So like I said, we already have that grand trine or that trine happening with Mars, Saturn, and Venus. Okay. So Mars, Saturn, Venus. Grand trines are really beautiful energy. It's almost like a gift just drops in your lap. Okay. Now, I know what I just said was look at what happened. Somebody was assassinated, blah, 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 right? But for those of us that are working on it, those of us that have been working on our emotions, on understanding that we are much more than our emotions, our understanding of our body connected to our emotions and how that affects us physically, it makes us unaligned or disaligned or dis-ease, right? All of us that have been working on that, our emotions are, okay, let me understand this. Let me know that, you know, I got to quit this cycle and then this won't happen. Like you guys have all been working on this for the last 6 months, right? Some of you for 3 months, some of you for 2 months. So I feel for us, if you're seeing me, because that's our energy, that's our vibration, right? Like attracts like, this grand trine is going to come and drop a gift that you have worked so hard for that you have no idea about. For some of you, it's love. And I know most of y'all don't want to hear that, but for some of you, it's actually meeting somebody. It's that time in your life. For others of you, it's moving forward on this project. For others of you, it's like closer to your dream coming true. Does all that make sense? So glad you are back from San Antonio, back to San Diego. Yeah, and now I'm in Oregon. Marcos, you know. Hi, everybody. Say hi to Marcos. He was in San Diego with me. He's also been on my YouTube for a long time. And it's funny because when I went from San Diego to San Antonio, he had gone the year before to San Antonio. Then I went to San Antonio. He came back to San Diego. And then I came back to San Diego. He went back. And then I went up to, like, we kind of moved around. Thanks. Went to San Antonio with you too. Oh yeah, at one point I remember. Like you and I are both just moving around. But this is the last move at a different state. Okay. I'm gonna move one more little move, but it's not a big move. I mean it's gonna be big in our life because we're building a facility, right? We're gonna build a facility. But anyway, so everybody say hi to Marcos. Marcos, these women are beautiful, they're old souls. You're an old soul. I would get to know them. They're wonderful, wonderful, wonderful people. Um, so anyway, we are October 1st. We have this grand trine going on, right? And at first it's in Saturn, but then it's going to move during the month. It's going to move from Saturn to Neptune. Okay. Hold on. Thank you. Oh, wait, why hold on, Wendy? Oh, okay. I think I know what you're talking about. To hold on. If that's what I think we're talking about. Anyway, uh, so in the beginning of the month, it's this grand trine with Saturn, and then it's going to, in the middle, towards the end of the month mainly, it's going to move this, like, imagine this is moving where this point part is going to be at Neptune. Okay, so we're going to be grand trine with Saturn. Daddy Saturn, you got to work hard. You got to show you're responsible. What do you believe in? Saturn in Pisces has been teaching us, and this is retrograde, and I'm going to go in more depth this next week. What do you believe in? Not what you were taught to believe in, not what you were told to believe in, not what people made you see that you thought that that's what your belief was, not because your parents say, not because your grandparents say, not because your culture says, not because where you're at says, not all that, not what society says. What do you believe in? That's what Saturn's teaching us right now in Pisces. What do you believe in? Right? So, with this grand trine, I feel like if you've been true to yourself, if you've been authentic with yourself, if you really looked at yourself, you've got a gift coming. It's a grand trine, okay? And I'm seeing Mars, that it comes with force and something that's really exciting. And I see Venus that comes with beauty and something you've really wanted for a while, okay? And then it moves into Neptune. When it moves into Neptune, I feel like, yes, we cannot see clearly for a reason because I feel like you're manifesting stuff. So something that you've been really trying to manifest comes through. Okay. That's at the beginning, and then that one's towards the end of the month. Then we also have October 2nd, 3rd, depending on where you are in the world. That's when we have what I've been talking about, which is the solar eclipse in Libra. Okay. Now we've already gone over that, but I'll go over that in more in depth tomorrow. But just know we've got changes coming. It's a solar eclipse, so you have something being handed to you. You have fate, destiny coming your way to get you to the vision that you've been seeing about yourself, about how you're identifying what is it that you want. That's Aries, right? Libra, how am I going to do that? I don't understand how to do it, right? It's going to come to you. It's over the next 6 months, okay? This has to do with relationships. How you're forming relationships. How are you having relationships this time, right? That's all that for that. Then we go to October 9th. I'm sorry, I'm looking at my notes just to make sure I don't miss anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So on October 9th, Jupiter stations retrograde. Okay. Now Jupiter is going to be retrograde. It's turning retrograde on October 9th. And it's going to be retrograde for about 4 months. Okay. So pay attention now. What's coming, what comes into your life, what relationships come into your life, what things come into your life, what work comes into your life, what new home comes into your life, what new apartment comes into your life, what new girl comes into your life, what new guy, whatever this is, on October 9th, it's going to turn retrograde. And what do we do in retrograde? Reevaluate. So it's going to go back over what's been going on this last month and into October 9th. Does that make sense? And we're going to be dealing with that for the next 4 months. So, yeah, till February 5th, it turns direct on February 5th. Okay. Then, just as it turns retrograde the next day, or the next 2 days later, Pluto, some places it's the 11th, some places it's the 12th. Depends on where you are in the world. Pluto turns direct. Okay? So all these things, Pluto now turns direct. I will go into more depth about what that means over this next till November, right? Because in November is when it hits Aquarius again. Okay, Pluto hits Aquarius again. We are coming to the end. Pluto will never in our lifetime, in this lifetime, as this character, as Mom Otto, as Witch, as Marcos, as Kathy Valle, as Wendy Knight, as Pineapples in LA, as Alyssa, as Aries Saves Life. Pluto will never be in Capricorn in this lifetime again. Okay? Won't happen. We won't be around for it. If we see it again, we'll be reincarnated in a different character. Okay? So as yourself, you will never experience Pluto in this way again. Okay? So let that sink in, because Pluto is a generational planet. Pluto is a planet that deals with your past, present, and future lives. Okay? So, yeah, it's possible. Something's coming. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a couple months, maybe in a month. I'm working on the 2025 is going to be really interesting. We need to we're doing the right, let me just say we're all doing the right thing right now, gathering, because it's going to be really interesting. But guess what? We're going to be fine because we're together, and we're not the only ones, but we kind of know. We'll know what's going on. We'll know what's coming. Not every exact thing, but we won't be frightened. We're going to get through it. We're going to have resources for us. Does that make sense? Okay. Whether that's emotional resources, financial resources, whatever. We're preparing now for that. Okay. Anyway, Pluto goes direct at 29 degrees, and then in November it will hit Aquarius. So as soon as this goes direct, Uranus, rethinking, Pluto goes direct, and he's ready to go. He's like telling Capricorn, I told y'all the whole story when Pluto started in Capricorn. He's like, all right, this is it. No more rethinking. You got to make your decisions about this. No more reevaluating. We got to get going. I got a little bit of time with you. I don't need Aquarius acting up in his house by himself. I got to go move in there. I got to already talk him into letting me have walk around the whole house, because all he let me have was a room. that's kind of what Pluto's saying, right? So he's like, we got to finish up here, because I need to know what I'm going to take to Aquarius, because we need to build on that in the Aquarian way. And that's what Pluto is saying to Capricorn. So that's what you're going to see out in the world. What are we keeping? What systems are we keeping? What are we willing to lean on a little bit? What groups are we willing to form? What are we going to keep and grow? Whatever happens, we're going to work on those things and blossom those things, right? But in a very different way. Not as individuals, but as groups with autonomy. That makes sense? So that happens on, y'all see, October 12th, right? And again, I'll go more into depth with each of these. Then on the 13th, sorry, I went one too far. Okay, so then on the 13th, It is the 14th. Sorry, I was right. Then on the 14th, Mercury is going into Scorpio, right? So whatever this is that you've gotten from Venus and this trine and all of that, Mercury is going to help you figure out what you want to do with it. How are you going to process this? What's going on in here, right? Is this adding to your skills? Is this adding to your communication? What is this doing? And so Mercury's going into Scorpio. And then on the 15th, again, I'll talk in more in depth about these a little later. Then on the very next day, we've got, see this? Look at this. So on this particular time, we've got Neptune, we got the moon, and we've got it trining this Venus. So remember, it was trining with Saturn. Now it's going to be trining with Venus. So I feel like you guys are going to get some, we're all going to get some like really good gifts. If you've been, I feel like if you've been honoring yourself and working on your authenticity and ending the cycles that you see that you needed to end with the help of Black Moon Lilith as you're moving through, I feel like this, whatever it is that you've been trying to form, some of you just kind of falls in your lap. Okay. And it's not like you hadn't worked hard on it. You know, again, these are different gifts for different people. Okay. So that's on the 15th. And then, I mean, like, this is a lot going on. And then on the 17th, which is 2 days later, right? So on the 17th, that's when we have this full moon in Aries. Now, we have Aries Saves Lives, so this is going to be a good full moon for you. Anybody that's ascending Aries, Sun Aries, you got some really good stuff coming in this next month. So you have this full moon in Aries at 24 degrees, right? So we'll talk later about that, but it's a powerful full moon. This one's a powerful one. So it's a super moon, it's a full moon. We'll talk about it later, but just know wherever Aries is, you got some, I guess I'm going to use the word powerful changes coming. I feel like, I almost feel, because you know Aries, like you don't mess with them. Like they're so sweet and kind, but don't mess with them. Don't mess with them. Don't do it. I'm telling you, don't do it. Anyway, so that happens on the 17th, and also on the 17th is when Venus will move in. So later this night, I know it says it looks like it's in Scorpio right now, it's at 29 degrees, but later that night, the same day, it's going to move in to Sag. Okay. Venus and Sag is going to have, y'all are going to have such a great time. Great time. Like Venus and Sag, are you kidding? That's a great time. That's like adventure. It's like, that's like my cup of tea. That's like adventure. That's like really not being afraid to go for what you want and like actually having it come through, right? So that's when Venus moves into Sag. And again, I'll go more in depth this next week on a lot of this. The next is, so that happens on the 17th. So we got the full moon. And it's weird because we got a powerful full moon and then Venus like goes into Sag. That's like a great time. Are you kidding? It's exciting. It's adventurous, it's exploration, right? So then on the 22nd, okay. Then on the 22nd, the sun moves into Scorpio. Okay. So on the 22nd, the sun is going to move into Scorpio. So it's going to be bright, cheery, airy, like adventurous. You're going to have gifts coming in. Things are going to be moving. You're excited about the And for me, I'm just excited because it's Halloween time. And everything's really good, right? Um, we're letting go of stuff, we're understanding things better, we're doing, and then the sun hits Scorpio. That means that light, airy, fiery turns into some deep exploration. Deep exploration. Okay. So, but I think we're in a good position for that deep exploration. I think we're in a good position to understand our emotions now. To like, because we have been working with our emotions now. Some of you have worked with it all your life, but some of us needed help working on our emotions and attaching back to our emotions, Aquarians and Virgos, and who else does that? Libra sometimes does that. A lot of you did that. So Scorpio is going to have us like, all right, let's take a look around. What's been going on? How do you like it? Can we go deeper with this? What is the real understanding about all this? Where do you really want to go? Are you really connected to yourself? Are you honoring yourself? Like there's some deep exploration going on. That makes sense? Then on the 26th, go to the 26th. Then on the 26th, we have Mars in that tight trine with Neptune. Okay. So Mars is still going to be trining Neptune. So Venus is going to move on, but Mars is going to trine Neptune, right? So there is something about the way that you see these things, about keeping your heart open, but about seeing the truth of a situation or situations that you have that Mars is asking you to honor and make a move on, right? And Mars is saying, okay, Neptune, I've given you time to reevaluate. I've given you time to really think. I've given you time to see it clearly. Now we got to move on this. So there is something that it's a good energy because as soon as you move on it, you get something from it. Does that make sense? That happens on the 26th. Now, on the 27th, uh, 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 I was trying to say something and it didn't come out. Sorry. So on the 22nd, 27th, this is when Mars opposes Pluto. Now I'm going to go into depth about this another day because you have to remember that conversation that Pluto was having with Mars. There is a video I have that says Mars and Venus are talking to Pluto, or Pluto's talking to Mars and Venus. I'll put it in the description later, but I want you guys to go and watch that because that's that conversation I said that they were going to have again, and they're going to be checking in. This is what's happening now. So I'd like for you guys to go look at that video to understand what I'm going to be talking about tomorrow or the next day. Okay. So Mars is going to be opposing Pluto. Mars is trying to tell Pluto, you can't be so mean. And Pluto's like, they need to get this done. Like, I don't have time anymore. I got to go mess with Aquarius. I do not have time for all of this. And Mars is like, I understand because I'm the god of war, because I like to do it this way. But he's been in Cancer where he's really understanding about focusing those emotions and focusing so that you can move better, right? Anyway, there's going to be this conversation. When it's in opposition, they don't really work. It's not like they don't want to work together. It's like they can't hear each other, right? It's like Pluto's yelling, Mars is yelling. By the time Pluto can get an answer, Mars is yelling back already, and it's like a miscommunication. It's like they're trying, but they can't. So that's kind of the energy, okay? And they will be opposing. So this is a long conversation. They will be opposing till November 11th. That's a minute. Like we're gonna be having this push and pull for a minute, okay? Yeah, I'll go more into depth with that later. And then this is when it really, really, if you look on the last thing, but I'd already said this on Halloween. Okay. So on Halloween, you can see Neptune trining Mars, trining Mercury. So whatever it is that you're getting or understanding or worked hard with or seeing clearly or making your move on or whatever that gift is, whatever that thing is, whatever that is, Mercury's going to come and help you figure it out, process it, communicate it well, do it the right way, do it the way that, and by the right way, I mean the way that you wanted to, and honoring your authenticity and honoring your voice and honoring your place in the world. Does that make sense? So that will be Halloween day before, and then we're going to go into Halloween, right? It's the same. These are solar planets, so it's the same thing. So we'll just call it on Halloween, right? See, 27th, 28th, 27th. Okay, so on Halloween, Mercury's going to come, and look who happens to be here on the world planet, on the world chart. That's the par fortune. We talked about the par fortune before. I haven't gotten to do that, but I kind of I kind of told you a little bit about it last night. So if you want to know a little bit more about the par fortune, you're welcome to see my video last night, or my live last night. So anyway, does anybody have any questions that will end the Halloween? If anybody has any questions about what we should do for Halloween, because y'all know I love Halloween and y'all probably love Halloween. Now, probably on that day, I'll be with my grandson, but maybe the day before, we can do something since we're like 5 days a week, right? So if anybody has any suggestions, y'all want to watch a movie over on Discord, because I have my Discord, like let me know what we want to do, because I kind of want to hang out with you guys, if you guys want to hang out with me. I'm like making plans and didn't even ask y'all. Anyway, does anybody have any questions about that? I'm going to read some of these comments. American city are under siege. Yeah. As I wipe the sweat off my forehead, it feels like a hell of a ride coming. Yeah. Halloween for me every day. Sounds like fun, Cindy. I know, right? I want us to have some fun. Listen, we're going to be fine. We're all together. Like, we're going to be fine. If y'all have any questions, if things happen, if we get some twists and turns because of Uranus here, all that when Uranus goes retrograde, all the twists and turns and shocks and awes that Uranus can do on the outside, it goes on the inside. So it's like, you're not going to lose your house, you're not going to lose your car, you're not going to lose your blah, blah, blah. It's not like you can't. Let me make this very clear. Because for those of you that keep ignoring the thing that keep knocking at you, I don't feel like there are a lot of you, but I do feel like there's some of you that are like, there's something that you should be doing that you keep not looking at and keep thinking, oh, I'll just push that out. I'll keep pushing that out. I'll keep pushing that out. I'll keep pushing. Uranus could change that, right? But for those, if you're like doing what things come to you, it's hard, you get through it, you're emotional, you do that, then to me, when Uranus turns retrograde, it's more about the inner understanding. It's all of a sudden you're like, oh, holy shit, wow, like stuff like that. It's not like this devastating, your house gets taken, your car gets taken, your job gets taken. It's not like that. But it could be, let me be clear about that, if you've seen signs and the universe is trying to tell you and these planets are trying to show you and you keep saying, I'll deal with that in a little bit, in a little bit, in a little bit. That could happen and that could come about in the retrograde. Okay. Sounds like fun, Cindy. Ellen says, always fun to hang out with you in the group. I know, love it. I love each one of y'all. Athena, yeah, fasten your seatbelts and put on your scuba gear, right? And Marco says, Pluto passing that revolution point. Yeah. So I hear and see some of the same themes going down as Pluto makes its path again because of the retrograde. Yeah. when I look at the bigger group, I feel like maybe a theme of revolution may start, but I don't feel like we will go right now today at this point. When I go into that energy, I feel like it's possible, but I feel like there's enough evolved souls that even if it starts, it won't last long and it'll stop. Does that make sense? So we can't play Scarlett O'Hara. Well, fiddly dee. I think about that tomorrow. I'll think about that tomorrow. Oh, yeah. So I know that was a lot of information, and I do thank you guys for being so patient and loving and letting me do Alyssa's chart. I really wanted to give her some answers as to what was coming. Um, and I'm so busy, and she's busy, like all of you guys. You're busy. You don't have like every time to be seeing me. So I just kind of wanted to um, give that to her. So thank you guys for bearing with me. We are living in biblical. Wait, oh, did you take that away? That's my mother's favorite book. She took me to see the movie when I was 6. Wow, 6 months old. That reminds me of Revelations happening in real time. Marco's Revelations been happening in real time for a long time. A long time. But we've gotten through it. We're okay. We're actually better than okay. I already told y'all. So, because we have new people in this group, let me tell you about this group. Okay? Let me just say this. Now, you in the group have already know, I've already explained that to you guys, but I'm going to say this for people that have not seen us before. I have questions since I can see spiritually. How can I balance myself not to react to people before it comes into this reality to be harmful? So you have to understand this is what we're working on with these emotions and what I was talking about. You are in charge of your emotion. You are in charge of your brain. You are in charge of your body. When you react, you're saying that you're not in charge, right? So it is okay to have, how did you say this? It is okay to see it spiritually and understand that there are bigger things going on that you may not understand from because you're only seeing it through your lens. Does that make sense? Like, I'm trying to ask them for an example to help you. Um, let's talk about Pluto. It's like how I say Pluto is that distant relative that was always cold and harsh and distant, and then your parents die and you have to go live with that person that you're afraid of that you thought was mean and distant and cold and harsh, right? And over time, you understand that they had so much trauma happen to them. There was so much trauma there, and it caused them psychological BS. And they learned to have power, to take power, to have their own power because they had to. They had to survive, right? But from your point of view, you're thinking that person's just mean, they're awful, but you don't understand the stuff that they have been through and why they react or give you that energy, right? When you understand that there are bigger things at play, when you understand that they have been through such trauma that for their protection, they do that. It's not because they're trying to be mean to you. It's because they're trying to protect themselves. So people lie. So people get agitated. So people get really aggressive because it's like me or you, and it's not going to be me. It's going to be you, right? So when you understand the bigger picture, then you can say, you know what? I don't know what's going on, but I don't wish ill on this person. They're only doing what their path is, and I hope the best for them. Now, if they're crossing boundaries, that's a different thing, right? But if they're not, That's what I'm saying. That kind of helps. That kind of helps you understand that. Yeah, well, harmful's a way myself not to react to people before it. Yeah. Oh, okay. So that's why I chose to love and not push them down. Yes. Yeah. Like, this reminds me of this group. We have beautiful, gentle, loving, giving souls, right? But people, and I'm going to say this to those people because I was saying this before I started this group, these people have been to hell, danced with the devil, told that motherfucker to get the fuck out, started running hell, and then came back. Like, that's who these people are. They have been, we all have, been through so much shit, seen so much trauma that probably one child or one adult or one teenager or even one baby shouldn't have to do and shouldn't have to. The positions that we were put in, the way that we had to survive, the abandonments that we had to deal with. I'm talking the devil. That's why when y'all talking about protection, I'm like, fuck that. You don't need protection. You already were there and reorganized that whole bitch and then came back. Like, y'all don't, you resonate at such a different resonance that you don't need that. Like, that's for people who think that they have something, like they have, like, you're just, you are who you are. You're fearless, and you're gentle, and you're kind, and you're loving, and it's true. People don't understand that those people that are like us, that are kind and sweet and soft and even keeled, they don't understand. They don't understand that we have a beast within us. We've just learned to work with our beast. We be badass. You are. You're badass. And trust me, all these readings, all these hypnosis that I've been doing these last 2 weeks, y'all are fucking badass. The shit that y'all have been through, y'all are badass. I'm talking horrors. I'm not talking like, oh, somebody lied and so. No, I'm not talking about, oh, like the fact that we've lost children and people, that's just a part of the trauma we've been through. It's just a part. Like, I'm telling you, people could not last 5 minutes in your shoes. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. And I'm going to stick to that. So if you're in this group, if you resonate with this group, if you start hanging out in this group, if you find that this group is yours, that's where you're resonating. That's who you are. There is no shame in that. There's no guilt in that. And if there is, we will work with that. We will help you with that. Because we're all in this. We've all been through that shit. And we now know through our growth, through our understanding, we don't have to hide that. We're changing this. We're changing the world. But how do we change the world? With ourselves. We're changing it through ourselves first. And as we resonate at a different resonance, what you guys would call higher or lower, I call it more evolved, less evolved. As you change the resonance, you attract not just the people of that resonance, you attract the earth of that resonance. You attract the life of that resonance. Does that make sense? I've been told that, Cindi. Yeah, you are. Each one of y'all. I mean, I could see all of y'all. Each one of y'all. Badass. Mm-hmm. And you're in specific spots for specific reasons. I told you guys last night. It's like this grid. Every time we gather, it's like the lights come together, each one of us, and the bond grows stronger. So the light grows bigger, if that makes sense. Like, that's what I see when we come together. And it's just growing stronger. Like, you're needed in Michigan, you're needed in Minnesota, you're needed in Atlanta, you're needed in Lithuania, you're needed in Switzerland, you're needed in Sweden, you're needed. Like, we need you all there. We need you all in the same place. And then when we come together, it's like a grid that we're holding the world, that we're trying to have the world resonate with, or us with the world, us with Mother Earth, us with the dreams that we see, us with the life that we see, right? But how we do that? We start with ourselves. and then we gather together. That's Aquarian. That's where we're moving to. Does that make sense? Don't make fun of my turkey neck. I just saw it on camera. We are a disco ball. Yes. Yes. Good analogy. Good vision. All right, my lovely ones. Does anybody have any questions before I go? I'm going to go kiss my grandson goodnight. And then I'm going to look at some stuff that I got to do for tomorrow. And I'll probably pass out. And then tomorrow I will do my best to try to email all of you guys back. The ones that emailed me. Or text me. Nope. Nothing. Okay. Gobble gobble. So funny. I used to do that to somebody. I'd be like, gobble gobble. Now look at me. Many blessings. Thank you to all of us. Many blessings. Many blessings to each one of you. Thank you guys for showing up every time. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all the likes and all the shares and all the love, for all the support. Thank you so very much. I'm so in awe. I'm so honored to be part of this. So good night, everybody. Sweet dreams. I love you, love you, love you. I will see you on the next one. Bye.